Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome once again. Now, there are many things that we think about every day, and there are many things that we wish to do every day. And one thing which you certainly have to do is involve other people, because there is a limit to how much you can do by yourself. So a lot of people, they don't grow because they're not able to grow the amount of people who work with them. Okay? And a couple of things will happen when you work with people. Or rather, the one thing that is guaranteed to happen when you work with people, what do you think that is? And that is something called upset. Upset. You know, either you are getting upset with them or they're getting upset with you. Now, what happens when there is an upset? When there is an upset, things get derailed. Right? You're working forward with gusto and enthusiasm, and you get upset. And your speed slows down, your tempo slows down, your mind goes, or your attention goes to more about worrying, brooding, getting angry, all that stuff. Okay? Now, smart people are very quick in identifying a state of upset and dealing with it as quickly as possible. Now, all upsets are not overt, you know. All upsets are not visible. Like you might say something, somebody gets upset with you, but you don't know because they haven't shown that they are upset. They are pretending everything is normal. So number one, you should be able to detect when that upset is happening. And if you detect that the upset is happening, then obviously you need to deal with it as quickly as possible. So you should be good in identifying when you yourself are upset. I'm not yet going into the causes of an upset. Okay? I am saying, how would you identify that you are upset? Now, the usual symptoms that have been observed are your energy comes down. You're not as enthusiastic and energized as you are normally when you're upset. You don't feel like talking to people. You don't feel funny if somebody cracks a joke. You prefer to be alone. Your mind is stuck in a loop thinking about something which happened. These are some of the symptoms. Okay? How do you recognize the symptom if somebody else is upset? You may find that they are withdrawing from you, they are avoiding you, they are not as free with you as they were earlier, they are not opening up and speaking with you as much as they used to. You feel some distancing happening, you will feel some loss of affinity happening. So then you know, all right, there is some upset somewhere. Either you are upset or they are upset. So this is a good time to find out what is the cause of the upset. If you want to deal with something, it's good to know what the cause is. So even before you have a conversation with that person, even if before you have a communication with that person, it's good if you start to think, what could be the reason for this upset? Now, usually, one of the things that is there is a broken promise. You made a promise, you did not keep it. So they are upset with you. You're also a little upset with yourself. So broken promise. So when you make a promise, it raises an expectation in the mind of the other person, isn't it? They expect you to keep your promise. So the second cause of an upset is unfulfilled expectation. Now, if you made a promise, there is definitely an expectation. Sometimes we don't make a promise, but still they are expecting something. Like people have an expectation. I made a mistake, so what? They should not be getting angry with me. People generally have an expectation that if you want to criticize me, don't do it in front of others. That's an expectation. Nobody promised you that they will not do that. But you have an expectation, or they have an expectation. So the first question you'll ask yourself is, the person is upset. Is there a broken promise somewhere? Is there an unfulfilled expectation somewhere? क्या हो सकता है? The third cause of an upset is that there is an intention that has been thwarted by you. Thwart means to stop, right? A thwarted intention. आप अगर किसी काम में रुकावट बन रहे हो या करने नहीं दे रहे हो, that will cause an upset because they have an intention, you are not letting them to fulfill it. So that's the third cause of an upset. The fourth cause of an upset is there is an undelivered communication. एक उनके दिमाग में they have something which they wish to say, or maybe you have something which you wish to say, but you haven't said it. आप कहना चाहते हैं, आपने कहा नहीं है. Because you are afraid that they may get upset or the things may become worse, or it may be to hell with them. Why should I say to them? Kuch bhi ho. So these are things that will always be there when there is an upset. So now comes the question of, there is an upset and how do you deal with it? So the way you deal with an upset is you communicate with that person as quickly as possible. Ideally speaking, the moment the upset took place, if you know it, talk to them immediately. Do not allow it to fester. So one of the mistakes that we make is that we take too long in addressing the issue. Something happened, then you sleep on it, you ignore it, or you are unaware of it. You don't do anything about it. Then something else happens with the same person. So it goes on accumulating, and by the time you try to sort it out, things have become very bad and it's very difficult to deal with them. You know what I'm talking about. Hasina ji knows for sure. There's a small upset which didn't get dealt with, then it became a bigger upset, and so on and so on and so on. Now you will have to have a conversation with that person as quickly as possible. And you will have to use communication. And as I've told you many times before, communication begins with the willingness to accept another person's point of view without changing it. Communication begins with the willingness to accept another person's point of view without changing it. It does not mean that you have to do what they say. It does not mean that you don't do what they say. It does not mean that you have to agree with what they say. It does not mean that you have to disagree with what they say. It simply means that you are willing to accept their point of view without changing it. जब आप किसी के दृष्टिकोण को रूबरू ले लेने के लिए तैयार हो जाते हैं, तब वार्तालाप की असली शुरुआत होती है. And in order to get somebody else's point of view, what do you have to do? You have to listen. So today morning, we have this wonderful person, magnificent and extraordinary person, who gave you a wonderful session on listening, and we've invited her to give you part 2 of this wonderful session on listening. And it's my great pleasure to invite to the stage a wonderful lady called Indu. So welcome everybody. Let's give her a big hand. Yay. Welcome, 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 Indu.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're
Happy
most
morning to you, and a wonderful morning to all our friends out here today. I think firstly, I'll begin by expressing my gratitude for having allowed me the space and opportunity to connect with all of you one more time. And let's go ahead. So I would just like everyone to pull in yourself and put out what is it that you are feeling at this point in time. Just a word in the chat box, perhaps. What is it that you're feeling right now?
Feeling great.
Wonderful. Happy? Yes.
Looking forward to listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Collected. Yes. What else? Calm and peace. Okay. Curious. Wonderful.
Curious. Keen to know.
Keen to know. Wonderful. I'm sure you spent a good couple of minutes this morning listening to Sukhdeepak sir, and he would have taken you to some plane, right? So wherever you are, from what you gathered out of what he just shared, let me know what is that one thing that you would want to take forward from that learning.
Listening skills.
Okay. What about others?
Listen empathetically.
Listen empathetically. Okay. How about the others?
Resolve the upset immediately.
Resolving the upset immediately. Okay.
For me, communication is very, very important.
Okay.
Which we have to be completely aware every moment, whether I am communicating correctly or not.
Okay. Wonderful.
Understanding.
Understanding. Okay.
I am looking for trying to extend myself to understand communication end to end, the entire spectrum that
Okay.
I need to shape up in the entire spectrum.
Okay. So you'd like to take in the entire spectrum. Okay. Wonderful. Now I'd leave the other friends to keep internalizing what you picked up from the learning. Let me ask this question to the friends who have already shared. So wherever you are right now with this thought, where or how did you pick this up from? So you made this decision or this choice, right? To understand something, to want to take in the whole spectrum.
From EMC?
The source. And what was the process? That's the source, yes. Right here from EMC, yes. How did you get to that? Through?
Listening intently.
Wonderful. So that was the mechanism, right? Others are with us. All of you, you're getting this?
Yes.
So, yes. So you are taking in life through listening, right? One of those powerful input channels for us to make sense of this world is through listening. Are we in agreement with that? Wonderful. Now, what are the other channels through which we take in experiences, we take in life, we understand things around us in our environment? What are the other channels through which we bring in life?
By our expressions.
Expression, Shiva Prasad ji, look at this process. I'd invite you to look at, you mentioned expression. So what do you do when you express?
Maybe our facial expressions. I mean, what I mean.
Yeah. I got that. So you're saying when you express, how does it flow? It flows outward or it flows inward?
I think both. See, when you are listening to someone gently with a smiling face, you will feel more open. More openness will be there.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Got you. Thank you. I want to thank him in advance, okay? Because he had led me to where I wanted to take this conversation. We just started with a few steps ahead. Thank you. We are going right there. Yes. Thank you, Shiv Prasad ji. Thank you. So you listen. How else do you listen?
Also, we do listen through interpretations.
Listening through interpretations. Okay. Now let's think of a system. Nitiji, I know you're about to share. Just give me a second and please continue. Let's look at system. Okay. That's something just for common parlance. What are your hardware? What are your software? Right? You have that distinction, right? So let's look at hardware and what are the input devices? Shoot,
so
just shoot.
Whatever we see.
What you see, yes. So I'm just looking at, let's say, the computer for an example. So what are your hardware? What are the input devices?
Almost all 5 senses.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Yes. So I think that drawing that parallel worked, right? To get us instantly to where we want to go. Of course, in most cases, we think we listen with our ears, right? We reduce to that confinement that we are listening through our ears, which is a fact. However, we stop by thinking we listen only through our ears, right? We absorb information through all of our senses, isn't it? Can you think of instances where you heard someone, you listened to someone, apart from this one faculty that we are so familiar with, apart from ears? How else did you listen to someone? Let's take a few minutes.
Intuji?
Yes.
Through body language.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Is this Samina ji?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Hi. Long time.
Hi. Yeah.
Wonderful. What else? How else do you listen? So when she said, just taking that thread forward, when Samina ji just said body language, so how are you picking that up as a listener? Body language is for the other person to be communicating. So as a listener, how are you listening?
What are the things? Did we say from the tone, the way it is said?
Of course, yes. You're hearing, and with the body language, it's a visual medium, right? You are observing someone's body language through seeing, right? So you're listening through your eyes also, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're looking at somebody smirking, let's say, you know they're being sarcastic or cynical about something you just said. And they have not uttered a word, my friend. You have listened to what they communicated in that moment, isn't it? And someone is giving you that beautiful warmth through a kinesthetic experience, just a warm hug. He has or she has communicated something beautifully in those moments, isn't it? You listened to something through those gestures, right? So that was a kinesthetic receiving of that information or communication, right? You didn't essentially use your ears to listen to that person who is giving you an understanding pat on the shoulder when you're feeling low. So through that sense of touch, you have understood a certain powerful communication, right?
Right.
Similarly, you've just, let me go to a deeper understanding of it a moment later, but just for easier understanding, when you smell a certain fragrance and it instantly transports you back to the times that you spent with somebody who used that fragrance or essence, it helps you trigger all of those nostalgic moments, isn't it? It need not be just a perfume. It can be the aromatic smell of some dish that your grandmother once cooked. It can be that the smell of the mud that your homeland reminds you the moment you step in after a long stay in a different land. It can be any of that, right? It can tell you so many things about the person who's no longer in your life, but the way he or she smelled when you were interacting with them. It communicates something to you, right? The smell, good old days of your summer vacation spent at your grandmother's house. Just that one pot of biryani can send you back all those train of thoughts, right? What I meant by deeper understanding is, if you have heard of the word called pheromones, pheromones is nothing but the smell emitted from the body odor of a person. Why it is so powerful is, as children, as infants, when we come into this world, we take in the world through different senses, right? For a just born baby, how it makes sense, or how one of the ways in which it powerfully connects with the mother is through the pheromones, the smell, the sense of smell of that of the mother, what is coming from the mother. So, you know, the child has this Bluetooth connection, right, with the mother. One of those strong associations come from these pheromones. Also, by just the smell, you can scan an entire person's body, get all of their data through just pheromones. Just for easier understanding, have you all seen dogs? The moment they see someone, they go and they sniff, right, all to the person. Just by sniffing, smelling, they get an entire record file of all of it, A to Z, from the genetic codings to all of those, the personality traits and qualities of a person. It can just take in. And you will find even some people, even spiritually inclined, very evolved persons, who can pick up various aspects of a person just by, you know, having one sniff of a person. You will notice that some people will just take in information through this faculty of smelling, just like how people can read so much by looking at you, by touching, right? Similarly, the faculty of your sense of taste, you listen through that too, right? The moment just watch this. How many of the times that you have had some very delicious food and you have instantly associated it with the love of the person who cooked it? This is wonderful. Therefore, you love me. Just think each of your spouses, partners, parents. The days when you get burnt rotis on your plate, the days when you get charred food on your plate, how many times have you associated it to, you don't love me enough? Perhaps you were angry, you were upset with me. That's why I'm getting this food. And especially if there was some showdown argument in the household a little before, the food tells you something, right? It communicates something. Similarly, when you put all of this together, like somebody else said just now said about body language, apart from your eyes, your ears, your nose, and your mouth that you use to take in this world, even body. Can any of you give us an example of how you listen with your body? Think of a time when you listened with your body.
Yeah, through pain. Sometimes.
Pain? Oh, yes. Thanks for sharing that.
Fidgeting with something while talking.
Okay. Okay.
Vibrations, ma'am.
Can you please repeat that, Sahuji? I didn't get you clearly.
Vibrations.
Vibrations. Vibrations.
Vibrations. Okay. Got you. Thank you. Yes.
Sensations in your body. Body sensations.
Sensations, yes. Yes, Priya, please go ahead.
When I'm upset, my shoulders go droopy. So
oh, yes.
My full body is drowned. My face is drowned, and people around me, they say something had happened. Although I didn't tell them anything, but they figure it out. So my face expression changes.
Changes, yes. So that is also communication that is taken in by her listeners, isn't it? People around her pick that up, right? She hasn't essentially said anything verbally, but people interpret, do come to certain understandings with what she puts out, right? Here, Priya had shared about what you can communicate with your body. Look at it from the other side, how you receive that communication with your body, right? For example, you have gone to a new place and let's say it's fairly deserted, right? How many times you walked into a place and you felt something is not okay? Have you all had those experiences? Something feels a little spooky here. You have not seen anything dramatic like special effects of a, horror movie, nothing like that. No doors opening by itself, closing and all, nothing dramatic of that sort. But you've gone in, but something tells you, right? There could be some kind of a lump in your chest at that point. There could be a funny sensation on your back. That's why we say, it's sending down shivers through my back, something like that. How many of you have felt a sharp pain in your chest at one point, as if someone is literally stabbing through your chest when some incident has happened? How many of you have been in those situations where you have sensed before the phone rang and you received some not so good news, you had a feeling through your body that you were about to listen or something is not okay? Just a hand raise if you've been in. So you listen to that communication, or you were about to listen to it even before it got to your ears, right? And you have told them, I knew kuch to theek nahi tha yahan.
Indu ma'am, this happens with me a lot of times. Whenever I am getting a good news, my expression, my body vibration changes, and whenever something sad happens, I just feel very sad. I don't know what is happening. And suddenly I'll get some news.
I get that. Thank you for sharing that. This is exactly the listening that we are going to be looking at today, my friends. Listening with your body. listening through your body. Yes, Kashaji, I'm just about to come there. Give me a second. So just as Priya said, not essentially only things, where, occasions where things go wrong, even happy occasions, your chest is welling with joy, when something nice is about to happen, that, right? When you go there, sometimes, everything indicates that you're going to visit or someone's going to be visiting some long lost cousin, friend of yours. And then you knew that meeting was going to happen. The times when you're going to, sign a deal and then it's going to do well. You also know if something's not going to work. Especially ask your mothers how they feel about something when you're about to get married to someone, when you're making that choice, when you're going to start your new business, when you're going to invest huge sum of money. That's where you will know listening with body so powerfully. They don't tell you essentially in words, but they know yahan par kuch to theek nahi hai. They will tell you also. They may not be able to articulate in words what is happening, but they will know. And women, they say, essentially have a higher sense of listening and absorbing information through their body. I'll come back to a deeper insight on that. Let's just hear Kasha. Yes, Kasha, please share. What is it that you want to tell us? Raised your hand, Kasha. Are you about to share something? Okay, we'll wait for him to come around. So coming back to where we left, have you all experienced those moments where you listened through your body? And most often,
no,
yes. Okay. So like we talk about the conscious and the subconscious mind, the tip of the iceberg is if it is 10% of, what you can pick up from that zone, the 90% remains under the sea level, isn't it? Similarly, when it comes to communication, when it comes to verbal communication, if it is scraping off the tip of it, then what lies in the unsaid can be so much more. And through our body, we pick up that much more information, provided you are tuned in as a listener. This is what sets you apart from an average listener to that extraordinary listener. Are you with me? When you are listening through all your faculties, the listening is that much more richer. So you're not just listening to their words, you are looking at their expressions, like our friend Shiv Prasadji said. You are watchful of that expression, not scrutinizing, right? Don't go that kind of a thing where you're watching for what they are saying, you're reading more into the lines, not that way. Just be. Allow that person to communicate. You're not desperate to pick out more. You're not making up your own meanings. That is overdoing this bit. I'm saying just allow. Resonate with the person. That happens when you connect compassionately with the soul that is in front of you. Do you agree? It's not a skill that you can just, pick up unless you are connected from within. Yeah. Looks like the place is like a little bit serious. So let's just shake this up, okay? And then you come around to tell you what you are getting from here, right? So what I'd like you to do is just ensure that you're comfortably seated with not much of, external disturbances. Even if you have them, it's fine. And we want and accept that also in our process, right? At no point we are 100% devoid of any external factors in influencing us, right? So it's good to have some noise around, I'd say, right? Are we game? Just for a couple of minutes of a process? Great. Now, ensure that you're seated comfortably and look at the first thing that you see around, right? And then allow yourself to make whatever impression that you're making out of it, and then drop it there and gently close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. Whatever happens for the rest of the few minutes now, remain stable with your eyes closed. I will be telling you, signaling when to open your eyes. Up until that point, let your focus be just within. Now, as you're seated here, what is it that you are hearing? With your eyes still closed, just focus on what you are listening to. Now, gently pay attention to all of the sounds that you may be hearing. In your room, become aware of all of those sounds that you are getting to hear at this point. It can be that of the AC. It can be that of the fan that is on. It can be some child. It can be the birds chirping outside of your balcony. It can be the rustling of the leaves from trees around. It can be just about anything. It can be a clock ticking away behind you, in front of you. Now, what I'd like you to do is pay more attention to the sound that is closest to you. You're hearing a whole range of sounds, noises. Screen in and focus only on the noise or the sound that is closest of what you're hearing at this time. Pay attention to what that is. Now, gently come back to listening to all of it. Tune in your focus to now letting all of the sounds to be heard. Now gently proceed to focusing your attention to the farthest sound in the room. With your eyes still closed, let your focus and attention be on that sound or noise that is heard at your farthest end in the room or in the place wherever you are seated. It can be some flight flying overhead. It can be some wind chime across the corridor. It can be the buzzing of a bullet or a car on the road outside of your house. Tune in. Go all the way to pick up the noise that is heard at the farthest end of wherever you are positioned right now. Once you have allowed yourself to hear all of it, gently retrace your focus to that midpoint of hearing. Once again, all of those sounds in the room or where you are seated. Now you're going to repeat that process, only that this time you will be doing it in fractions of seconds. When I say go, you're going to take your attention to that sound which is closest in your room from where you can hear it. Zoom in to that sound which you hear loudest in your room, closest to you. Now zoom out to hearing all of the sounds. Now zoom in to the farthermost sound that you're hearing, the most faintest, most feeble sound that you can hear. Now bring back your attention to all of the sounds that you hear. Now, my friend, you're going to focus your attention on a sound that you didn't hear so far. It was there all along. For some reason, if you didn't pick it up already, look around for that sound that you did not notice before. Now come back to listening to all the sounds around. Now from there, shift your attention to the point between your eyebrows with your eyes closed. Bring your attention and focus in between your eyebrows. Continue to hear any sound that you may be hearing around. Allow your focus to remain at this point. Now from this point, travel inward into the deep vessel that you are. Travel within your body. Listen to the sounds that you may not have paid attention to before. Listen to your organs from inside. Some of it may be screaming for your attention through the day, and you might have lost the opportunities to care for those organs because you were busy listening to the sounds outside of you. Now, quickly scan your body for all of those parts of your body. Run through your body internally as if you had a camera inside of your eyes to look at your organs, different body parts from within, from inside of your body. Scan. See what you see, hear what you hear, and feel what you feel from inside. Pick up some information that it might be wanting to communicate to you. Thank that part for allowing you to get that information. You may want to go back sometime later after our session, or sometime even later in the day to make more sense out of it and to act on those sounds. Now bring back your attention to your heart center, your solar plexus. Visualize a pink light radiating from the solar plexus, from your chest area. Let this pink light radiate outside of you and protect you like a protective bubble outside of you. Visualize there is a transparent bubble that is formed outside of you, filled with this pink energy. And fill it up with all of your affirmations. Great health, peace, prosperity, compassion, joy, calmness, enthusiasm. All of that in that bubble. And now invoke a divine intervention into this bubble so that it is sealed with blessings and nothing but blessings. You have filled yourself and the space around you with so much blessings that any person, species, plant, animal, bird, insect that comes into contact with you now and henceforth receives nothing but blessings. Every person who's walking into your life is a blessing, and be that blessing to anyone's life that you may bump into. Once you have established that, bring your attention once again to the middle of your eyebrows and take that attention equally divided between the two eyes. And with all of that awareness still carried in your eyes, gently open them, bring your palms together, rub them, generate just as much as warmth that you may need, and place them on your eyelids and let the warmth seep in through your eyes and generate the warmth throughout your body. Thank you. Ideally, I would just like you all to be by yourself. Just allow you to soak in this space. Just as you're refreshed, visualize yourself, anchor this, whatever you're feeling right now, right? Anchor this space in your body somewhere, you know, just take your middle finger or your index finger, just place it somewhere, you know, at your pulse point or inside of your knees, somewhere, and anchor this space, what you're feeling. A space where you can listen actively, listen calmly, listen non-judgmentally, listen with acceptance of whatever it is that you're hearing, without excluding anything, being inclusive of everything, everyone, listening with ease, listening with joy, listening gloriously, everything that comes your way, so that you are vibrating with all that high frequency to be in allowance of anyone, anything that you are coming into contact with. And you are fully available to make the best of choices to respond to those people from such an enriched space, fully, wholly, and completely. And on that note, I'd like to wrap up this session. Thank you. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience, being so receptive and contributing to whatever flowed through this session.
Thank you so much, Induji. Sukhdeepak sir has left.
Okay.
But there's one exercise we need to do quickly.
Oh, sure.
I request you all to take your hands like this and take both hands together, closer, and do it a bit faster.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Wonderful. That's one word can describe the whole thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You got me. I was not seeing that coming. That's so beautiful.
And Sukhdeepak sir has conveyed gratitude and thank you, Induji.
My pleasure.
And he said that, say her big thanks on his behalf. So I'm conveying a big thank you on Sukhdeepak sir's behalf and all of us present in this room at this moment. So thank you so much. Gratitude and God bless you. And I'm sure we're looking forward for more sessions from you.
Absolutely.
And just my takeaway from this session, and just a reminder to myself and all of us, Sukhdeepak sir started the conversation with what can make us upset. And he indicated the value and the importance of communication, which you all must remember that communication starts with the willingness to accept the message as is without any changing. And then he mentioned that how listening will help to get that communication across, internalize, so that we can really avoid getting upset or make other upsets. And interestingly, Induji and all you, if you see the word listen, L-I-S-T-E-N, the letters used in listen is the same letters used in the word silent. So I'm trying to reconnect what explained by Induji beautifully, that how the listening is so important and can be so powerful when we become silent. And as she rightly explained, that how we can go through the process of being in the silence state and observing all our faculties of our bodies, everything. And through body, we can listen so powerfully. So thank you so much for a wonderful session. And I would like to leave this platform open for anyone to share your thoughts, whatsoever you are feeling, share your expression, gratitude to Induji. So the floor is open to all. You can raise your hand and interact, communicate. Prasad Garu, please go ahead, sir.
It's an excellent session. I just want to know how to improve our listening skills always when I'm in with the family, with colleagues, with the business people.
To take the easy route, how would you listen in the times when you know, just in case any of you have experienced ear infections?
Yeah.
How does it feel those times? You know, it's such a sore, it's such a pain, right?
Yeah.
And then the moment you get it treated, it can be going to the ENT, it can be, you know, stuffing in some medicine, pouring some drops, it can be an antibiotic, anything, however you're dealing with it. Once it's clear, once again, how much you are appreciative of the fact that you can listen clearly, right?
True.
Hear them. Similarly, you know, what is this infection? If you just ask that question, what is it that is infecting my listening now to this person? Most often it will be those filters. I'm not wanting to listen to you. I don't care. I can't quite tolerate you. You know, you have cheated on me sometime, or you didn't respond to me before. It can be ego, you know, a tassel that you're having there, a tussle rather, sorry. You know, it can be anything that is friction, causing that friction in the relationship, which comes as a filter. You're not qualified enough. It can be one filter. Or now you tell me what to do. You teach me life. It can be one. It can be the previous time you gave me, that was not sound advice. It can be that, if we stereotype that one time what you said didn't work for me, every time anything from this person is not good for me, then you shut out that person, right? So ask, what is this infection? And the answer to your question, how do we get rid of this infection? By nursing it, right? If there is a wound, you nurse it. So if there is something that is coming in the way between you and this person, pay attention and nurse that wound. When there is healing happening in the relationship, the listening becomes clear. And if you know a shortcut, you could use it. I'm giving you 2 of them. 1, you act in the present, here and now. You're not operating from your past experiences with that person. Acha, isne aise kiya, aise bola, whatever it is. If you're operating from the past, then it stops you from the here and now. So whatever it is, come to the table with openness. Right now, I will respond to what I'm getting with divide of judgments, number 1. Number 2, even more a shortcut, just overflow with compassion. With love and joy and peace and compassion in your heart, koi bura bhi bole, you're not picking that up. Someone is bitching about you, you're not picking that up. Someone is, slaying you with the words, you're not. Where does a Zen-like life come from? Whatever the speaker is, he may be hurling insults, curses at you, but you will stay unaffected because there is love, peace, calm in your heart. So I would say these are 2 shortcuts to listening.
I think it's a good tip. I can also say that we can stop judging.
Absolutely. Yes. I just took the long route,
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Very good.
Thank you, Reddy Garu. Thank you, Indraji. Sahuji, you want to ask something?
Yeah, sir.
Please go ahead, sir.
Especially when somebody, means it is a typical case, somebody is insulting you in public. So how to handle that case? Because in my view, we are giving with interest immediately.
Okay. So, I got
so
that.
How to control it? Because in that situation, especially all the senses are come out and we cannot control all these things. So how to control that thing? And especially that man create that situation. Means the next party create that situation. He shouted, you blamed, he insulted you in public, like in open space in office. Like this is a typical case. How to handle it?
Okay. 2 things that are coming to my mind right away, I'm sharing. One, something that I picked up when I was in 8th standard, I think. There was a story, we have those moral science classes, value education. So one of the lessons in it read a story like this. There was a guru, a spiritual person. So he was by the riverbed. Okay. So he was seated there and then he had his disciples around. There was a scorpion that came by, it stung him, okay, and then it was losing its balance, so it fell off in the river. So what the guru did was picked it up and put it on the riverbed. So it again came by to him and stung him one more time, and then it dropped balance, it fell into the river. Again he put out a leaf, he picked it up and put it on the land. So this happened a couple of times, 2-3 times, and then the disciples asked him, see, the scorpion is going on stinging you and you are again and again foolishly picking it up so that you can get stung one more time. What's with you? We can't quite understand. Now I don't know what you think he would have answered. Okay, just for want of time, I'm making it shorter. So this is what he told the disciples. He says, it is the nature of the scorpion to sting, and it is mine to save. So no matter what the scorpion does, it is in my nature to protect, to shield, to love, to care, to, show them the way. So no matter what your external factor is, you be what you want to be at any given time. So that story stayed with me. So irrespective of A, B, C, Tom, Dick, and Harry, whoever is in front of you, they do what they want. They can dance, they can be happy, they can be cursing, they can do whatever they want. But how you are in your character, right? That's what, so you make a choice what you want to be and stick by that. That's A, if it helps. The second thing that comes to me is a story, is what we've heard from the Buddha, right? So again, this is a popular story, most of you will know. If a gift is handed out to you, only when you receive it, you get the gift, right? If somebody's offering you something, even if it's a most expensive thing, if you've not picked it up, if you've not owned it, if you've not got it, whom does it belong to? Whatever they give. It's a diamond, it's a slipper, anything. If you have not picked it up, whom does it belong to? Somebody's given you something. The moment you receive it, it becomes yours. You pick it up. But if you choose not to take it, it belongs with the giver, right? Whoever is giving it. Now apply the gift to your insult. If somebody is giving you those harsh words, mean looks, nasty behavior, if you choose to pick it up, take it, that's when you get affected. No matter what they do, they created it, they initiated it, they cursed, abusive words, cuss words, anything, any bad behavior. If you are not picking it up, if you're simply refusing to pick it up, it stays there. So all you have to do is drop it, move.
That is correct, ma'am. But what about your social status? Because he's the person who is doing the same thing. Yeah. If you are not reacting, if you are not responding, the other people will think that you are the culprit.
Okay, just wait. Others are watching us. Sahu sir is on camera. Okay, I'm saying others. Let's hear from others. Sahuji, he's wearing a pink shirt. Sahuji, you're wearing a pink shirt, isn't it? Apne pink shirt pehna. Others, y'all, please respond. He's wearing such an flashy pink color shirt.
Very nice pink shirt. Very good.
This is one response. Okay, Kunenje. Sahuji.
Blue shirt.
Blue shirt. Yes.
Sahuji is dark and black.
And this reminds me, Induji, sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sukhdeepak sir always used to say that, Sahuji, that dogs will bark.
Yeah.
So, kutte hai wo bhaukte rahenge.
Yeah.
We can't do anything. What we can do, as Induji is explaining, is that to manage our emotions ourselves.
Yeah. And one more thing also, in the same process, what I wanted to bring out is, Sahuji, you know what you're wearing, right? But pade to samaj ki hai. So let's ask the samaj. Na, Nitibji, I said he's wearing a blue shirt and somebody said he's wearing a black shirt. I'm sorry, I said he's wearing a pink shirt. Can you see what he's wearing? Shiv Prasad ji, Gopal ji, can you tell him what he's wearing?
Yeah, yes, light blue.
Yeah. Sahuji, aapko mile aapke answer? I'm saying you're wearing a pink shirt, but it is for the others to see, na? They can see that you are still in a blue shirt.
Correct, ma'am. But at that situation, when the person is your boss, and you have to respond, and you are in an embarrassing situation, so at that time, controlling self is, I think, just means it was impossible for me. This is a situation like this, but how to control it? This is the main thing.
Why do you have to control? He's saying what he's saying. You do what needs to be done, na? Others can see. They know what the boss is giving. You don't want to take those. Others can see. It's still with the boss, na? His anger, his judgments, his ego, his prejudices are with the boss, and others can see it. And whatever you radiate, na? Patience, your work, your productivity, your caliber, what you bring to the table, wo bhi visible hai sabko. They are seeing that also. Stay with it.
Okay.
And sometimes, just let me leave you with this. Like we spoke to Shiv Prasad ji, there is some infection and you're going to get it cleared also. You know the way. that it will clear. But even if you go to the doctor, he does the dressing, pulls out the infection. If you've been through those processes, you'll know how painful it is sometimes to take out that. And then they have put one big wick dipped in medicine into your ears. They said keep it for 3 days and come back for review. Something has been cleared, but it will still take you those 3 days for you to pull that out and get into that clarity. It is unsettling. So wait. So once you've learned the process, we think instantly we are free of our trouble. You have just got some idea. Put it to use and allow it that resting period to see the benefits. Right? That's what I will say. So give it its time.
Thank you.
Be in that awareness, and you will allow it to, see clear all of those issues that you're right now face. Thank you. Thank you once again for the patient.
Let me ask Sahuji, in the beginning of the session, Sukhdeepak sir mentioned the 4 reasons of upsets. Do you remember, sir? What are the 4 reasons sir had mentioned?
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat for all of us to also as a reminder?
One thing is broken promise. One thing is whenever someone is huddle for your work. One is undelivered commitments. Okay.
Undelivered communication.
Communications or communications. Okay. So these are the things, something correct. What you are also intends to say, that is also correct. I am also trying to understand it. But thing is that how to control means I cannot control them. I cannot control the opponent party. I cannot control the person. But how to control myself? That is the only thing. Because sometimes what happens, as I told in the there is 2 things: react and respond. I am reacting immediately. You know me. Last one.
Sir, yes. Sorry for interrupting you, sir. वो हो जाएगा. आप रोज सुबह आते रहा कीजिए. It is a process. ये फौरन कुछ नहीं होगा. 9 महीने लगते हैं एक बच्चे को भी तैयार होने में. So keep on coming, sir, and I'm sure one day you will realize that you are not reacting, you are responding.
Yeah.
So now, since we are coming close to the session, I would like to invite for official word of thanks to a wonderful gentleman. Because of him, today's great session from Induji we could experience. So please give me help me to welcome and give a big round of applause to none other than Mr. Vechival Shan Mungam. What do you say?
Before going to great Induji, I want to thank Kunain. I never heard this much of big welcome for a vote of thanks. You are just diverting the session. And it shows your bigger heart. And I have a big vote of thanks, which goes for another 1 hour. But thinking short of time, one word is today's session is nothing but magic, Induji. I want to thank you with the full folded hand, full heart of love. Thank you for doing this to everyone. Because we are recording it and we are sending it to the world with our possible way.
Thank you.
And 2 metaphors comes into my mind. If you allow me, I would like to share with you. It is just...
Sure.
Sorry, sir. Gopalji said something?
Yes, I think so.
Induji is magic herself.
Yes.
Generous with the way you all have received. Thank you so much.
Very good session. Thank you.
Thank you,
God bless us.
I just want to say 2 metaphors quickly before I wrap up, Induji, if you are okay. Oh, sure. First metaphor is how I feel when I listen to you.
Okay.
It is like, for me, personal experience is like getting into the ocean just to trying to measure it or play it, whatever it is. The step further I go, one step now, the ocean sends me a strong signal saying that I am bigger and deeper than what you have been thinking and getting inside. You can't measure it. It's such a magnanimity you are showing.
Thank you.
Not only one time, every time. This is my personal feeling. Right?
Thank you.
That's why I use the word called Vishwarupa.
Thank you.
Second metaphor, which is my learning from today's session, especially you touched on senses part, which I am also Vipassana. I can say I went there and learned something. My personal experience is, if I want to put it in a metaphor, I am in a Al-Ansari exchange with multiple foreign currencies, but I'm not using it properly. I'm just throwing away everything. So
get it.
Senses through senses. I'm not using it properly. I can buy so many stuffs. God has given me so many things. But how mindlessly I'm throwing away all the money, all the currency of the different countries and not valuing it. So such a mistake I have been doing after listening to this. This is like, I'm going to close my shutter for some time. I have to count everything. Then I have to use it very judiciously to become a billionaire. Thank you very much for doing this. Anything from our side, if you feel like, take it in a friendly sense, and sorry for that.
No, not at all. It's absolutely fine. I think
many people need it. Over to you, Indraji.
It's a blessing to have connected with all of you in this space. So I'm only grateful, and it's been brilliant to be interacting, to even be blessed with this opportunity. So I'm thankful. Thank you for the kind words, Vetriji. Thank you. Thank you, Shiv Prasadji. I know there has been listening sometimes, even in the silence, with those nods, with those processing. So I want to thank. I can pick that up from the screen, even if it's virtual. Thank you.
And before you leave, may I request, as per our tradition, to share some...
Absolutely, yes, yes. How can we have a closure?
We have, where is the gentleman? I think Kuldeep sir has not joined today, but we have Kamalji. He's a wonderful shair, unsung hero, unspoken. So please, Kamalji, कुछ शायरी हो जाए आपकी तरफ से आज.
नहीं, मैं सोच ही रहा था कि what could be the best, क्या हो सकता है. And then I remember one share of Nida Fazli. It's all about communication only. So how do we take it? It says that हर आदमी में होते हैं 10-20 आदमी. हर आदमी में होते हैं 10-20 आदमी, जिसको भी देखना हो कई बार देखना.
हाँ. जिसको भी देखना कई बार देखना.
शानदार. Yes, yes.
Everyone has multiple personalities.
Yes, yes, yes.
जिसको भी देखना हो कई बार देखना.
Very true, very true. In fact, when couples come for counseling, sometimes usually they may be going through some divorce process. So what I tell is, you're looking at this one person and response from one person. But it's not this one person who's sitting in front of you and who's communicating to you. He's a product of his parents, his grandparents, the community that he comes from, the neighborhood. I'm community, matlab the clan. And all of them have influenced him, and he is the product of all that. So he's a product of all of those 20 people, or even more, that is responding to you. So if he said something, it's not just that one person saying it, but the conditioning of all that he's received culturally, socially. So beautiful. But I haven't heard this concept in this couplet in such a beautiful form. So thank you for giving that gift.
You will also listen something similar from in Tamil or Telugu, Vetriji?
Koreji, certainly not Telugu. I don't know Telugu. It is from Tamil and must be very familiar with Hinduji. He's been doing this. Suddenly the poem comes is, can you hear me?
Yes,
I get some signal problem.
Yes.
Any signal?
We can hear you.
Great. Tirukkural, one of my favorite goes this way. Selvathul, Selvam, Sevi Selvam, Matselvam, Selvathul, Ellam Thalai.
I was about to begin with that. Yes.
You can translate.
Go ahead, please. I don't want to steal the thunder from your heart. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's a big one. Thank you very much. The meaning is, the richness of the year is the wealth amongst all wealth, the foremost wealth, meaning nothing bigger wealth than what you hear, and especially it resonates with today's session for people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And in the last, I would like to share a couplet, and I request Nipi ma'am if you can translate. That will be a great help. अर्ज किया है साहू जी आपके लिए है. This is dedicated to साहू जी के वो कोई और चिराग होते हैं, वो कोई और चिराग होते हैं जो हवाओं से बुझ जाते हैं. वो कोई और चिराग होते हैं जो हवाओं से बुझ जाते हैं. हमने तो जलने का हुनर भी तूफानों से सीखा है. हमने तो जलने का हुनर भी तूफानों से सीखा है. Let's listen the translation of this from Niti ma'am.
Sauji, your friend is wanting to convey to you that there are various kinds of lights, and there are the weaker lights that get blown away with the storm. But what he finds within you is a light that knows how to burn, how to glow in every storm and continue sharing and shedding light all around. That is what he sees in you.
Thank you both, Niti ma'am and Punen ji. बहुत अच्छा, बहुत बढ़िया. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Niti ma'am. And I request Niti ma'am to close today's session with her thoughts. And that will be the last part of today's session.
Yes.
And thank you so
if you
much
can give me a second, before that, just a second. I just want to share something in the likes of what you just shared, Kunanji. And even before you mentioned about sir talking about barking, right? There is a Tamil phrase which says, Tingalai nai kuraitatru. Tingal ka matlab moon. And nai is the dog and kuraital is a barking. That says on the streets, you will always find these stray dogs barking at the moon. It doesn't make any less of the moon because the mad dogs are barking away to glory. It cannot reduce the glory of the moon just by its barking. So let them be. They're doing what they need to do. So you be that, right? Shining like that, right? Moon. Right. On that note, I'll take leave and sign off. Thank you
so much.
I'll request. Thank you, everyone, once again.
I'll request Niti ma'am to take it over and close the session.
Thank you, Indu. Thank you so much for a lovely session, very informative, and the exercise was wonderful. It just, I'm sure many of our friends over here will resonate that you made us realize in every moment how much we are missing out when it comes to listening, whether it is sounds or whether it is the smell or whether it is the other person's other body language, their expressions. We are busy only listening with our ears and just watching the eyes of the next person. We miss out on a lot of other faculties. And that is what you brought out so beautifully in today's session. And we take that forward with us. Thanks so much for all that sharing and all that direction that you've given us. You've opened some very good windows for each one of us. And Sahuji, thank you for your sharing. I think with your sharing, you have also brought all of us together at looking at the challenges in life with more energy and more positivity. So while we wish you the very best, I think we all need to go back with all that positivity that we get from here. Thank you all. Thank you, Kunensa. Over to you.
Thank you, and thank you so much. And stay safe and stay blessed all. Take care of yourself and see you tomorrow for another empowering morning conversation with Sukhdeepak Malvai.
Yes.
So
God bless everyone.
Thank you. My pleasure entirely being with all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Vetriji, for initiating this session. Like Punenji said, is a result of your initiation and asking. Thank you. And thanks to Malvai sir for providing this opportunity once again for all of us to meet as a platform. And Kunenji for holding the space, and Nitiji for tying it all up together, and all of our friends who participated brilliantly. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a blessed day ahead.
Thank you, Indiji, and everyone. Bye.